I am going to be talking to you about your personal framework. I am going to go into detail about that personal framework today and why it is so important and what you need it for, the areas that you can be using it in your life, in your career, in your business to help you with better alignment, better balance, and just overall ease of life. So if that is something that you need in your life, then definitely stick around for the rest of this video. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Andrea Patrick, the BU Boss, and you are in the right place if you want to be a more efficient, effective, and aware leader, not only in your life, but also in your career and business. I am so excited to be with you today. It's been a minute since I sat down and actually did some filming because I've been out of town. I just recently took my daughter to college, and so all the videos you were watching since then, I recorded a while ago, so I was happy to be able to use that content and not have to film while I was out of town, so I'm excited about that. But I wanted to come back to you today. We are going to get started next month, September, with a whole new series, and I'm really stoked to talk to you about it because it really is about aligning yourself with your brand. Whether your brand is a stay-at-home mom and you're on a bunch of boards and you do a lot of philanthropy, or maybe it's a career ladder you're climbing and you need some help aligning yourself with that, or if you have a business and you are struggling to connect on social media, you are struggling to understand how to operate and communicate with collaborators, being able to align yourself with your brand is so important. And I'm going to be talking about that throughout the month of September in preparation for a huge announcement that is coming during Women's Small Business Month, October. So make sure you are staying tuned for that, and you will definitely get all the tea on that. So stay until the end of the video so that you can learn more about what is coming in October for Women's Small Business Month. But for today, if you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never ever miss an episode. And this is not your average marketing strategist, business tutorial, YouTube channel. Here we're talking about how to make it work and how to balance your life along with your business or with your brand, because that is so important. How many of you feel like you are struggling to keep it together and keep your head above water with all the things that are going on? COVID just exacerbated the challenges that we already had in life, and it really shed a light on some things that we really need to adjust if we want to not only live our best life, but to achieve those goals and have a quality of life. And that's what we're talking about here on this channel. And also over on my podcast, we are talking a little bit more in terms of theory on the podcast, but here on the YouTube channel, I am sharing with you personal things and how I'm walking out some of those tips and tricks over in my business and in my nonprofit. I have a nonprofit, guys. You guys know, if you've been here for a minute, you know that I have a business and I also have a nonprofit. I have a huge family, motherhood, wifehood, all the things that need balancing, and everyone needs their time and space. And that's what we're here about, is helping you to align yourself with whatever it is you're doing in your professional life. We're helping you align that with your personal life so that you can have a quality of life. Okay, so that's what this channel is all about. I hope that encouraged you to hit that subscribe button so that we can go ahead and be friends, be homies, and live this best life together. I'm looking for some pals to do that with so we can share experiences. So let's get on with today's video, because I've got an exciting announcement to share with you at the back end of this video. So make sure you stay into the end, okay? So today we are gonna sort of clear the slate and prepare ourselves for what's coming in September. And I am going to be talking to you about your personal framework. Now, if you followed my 5 C's to Be You series, then you know that I talked about the personal framework quite a bit. I am going to go into detail about that personal framework today and why it is so important and what you need it for, the areas that you can be using it in your life, in your career, in your business to help you with better alignment, better balance, and just overall ease of life. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right in. We are going to talk about the personal framework. Let me tell you what it is. There are 4 pillars to the personal framework: your strengths, your limitations, your desires, and your non-negotiables. Those are the 4 pillars of your personal framework. I talk about them over in my series, The 5 C's to Be You. Definitely go check that out, because that is a great way to sort of see what that could look like in your personal life. And I think we get so bogged down with how to run our business, how to grow our business, that we're forgetting that we have a life and that we have to be able to seamlessly marry those 2 lives together so that we can have a quality of life. Okay, so that's what we're doing with this personal framework. When you create it for yourself, you are putting up boundaries that help manage expectations of not only you, but those around you. And it helps helps you to be a little bit more intentional and discerning. And, in life, those are two huge qualities to get where you want to go. You have to put forth the effort to get where you want to go, but you also have to be able to sort of feel your surroundings, understand your surroundings, and make good decisions based on what you know about yourself. So that is one of the biggest values to creating this personal framework. So let's dive right in, because I really do want you to understand this personal framework and how it can be used in your life. So the first thing is your strengths. Okay. When you understand your strengths, doing things you're good at actually boosts your confidence. Now, when I was doing styling and working with people, I would always say, if you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good about how you look, you have confidence. That is so true. I'll say it again and I'll slow it down. If you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good about how you look, you have confidence. So the same holds true with your personal framework. When you understand your strengths, and it's like clothing, your armor, if you will, you know what makes you strong. Then when you step out in public to do the things, to live the life, you have confidence in what it is you're doing. It boosts your confidence because you know that you are putting yourself in situations that you can thrive in. And when you are in those situations, you know that you are going to operate well because you're operating within your wheelhouse, within your strengths. Also, knowing your strengths helps you make better decisions. Guess what? If you know that you are a level 8 at something and higher, then when you make a decision to take on that job that requires that particular skill, you already know, right? That is a job that you want to take. You can make that right decision. It helps you keep that dollar you don't want on the table. I've said this before. Go back and look at my videos. You do not have to pick up every dollar that is put down. And when you are operating in your strengths, you are less likely to pick up the wrong dollar, which means you've made a good decision for yourself, for your alignment, for your balance, for your ability to operate and live a quality of life, because you're making those really good decisions. Also, when you operate within your strength, when you understand your strengths, it helps you build a reputation for yourself of getting results and being a good resource for people. Whether you are the mom who all the kids trust and love and adore, and your children want all the kids at your house, whether you are the go-to resource on your job, or whether you are the go-to results-driven business owner that your clients refer others to because they know that you're going to do an awesome job at whatever it is they throw your way, you having these strengths and operating within those strengths encourages that type of reputation building. So you want to have those strengths lined up. You want to know what they are. And guys, just so you know, your strengths are not always the things that you enjoy doing, okay? I enjoy putting flowers in my front yard and making my yard look pretty, but I am not that great at it. I have absolutely no idea of when to put plants down. I have absolutely no idea of which plants to put down at all. So I always rely on those who have more information than me, my neighbors, okay? So I don't try to operate in that strength because I know that that is not a strength of mine. So I don't have a reputation of being a green thumb. As a matter of fact, my mom was very surprised to see that I had a ton of plants in my house, and she was wondering how I was keeping them alive because she knows that I don't do that great of a job. But I've been doing okay. Now, the next pillar of your framework are your limitations. You really need to be clear about your limitations, what they are, and be honest with yourself. Like I said, you can really enjoy something, but it doesn't mean you're great at it. You could be a level 5 at that task or that thing, and honey, it just needs to be delegated. But you need to know what those limitations are, and you need to be honest with yourself so that you don't pick up that wrong dollar. How many times have you had an ability to do something? You might say, well, I know how to do social media. I do it for myself. I get decent results from it. And then someone comes up and says, hey, can you do my social media for me? And you say yes because they threw some dollars at you. But once you got into it, you realized it was more time consuming, more tedious. You couldn't get to your own things. You were struggling to find out how to get their numbers up or whatever it is they were asking you to do. And it started to feel like a job. Well, that's because you picked up the wrong dollar. You were not honest with yourself surrounding that limitation, and you picked up the wrong dollar. So you do not want to do that. It helps you also, when you recognize your limitations, recognize your triggers. This is really good in your personal life. I know that I don't do well with someone rushing me or making me feel rushed. I don't do well without planning and understanding the risks and struggles that could come my way. And I do struggle with a bit of anxiety sometimes around these areas. And so if I recognize that and I start having those feelings of, hold on, I don't really know about this, I can sort of stop myself and truly evaluate what is happening and make a better decision based on what I know to be true for myself and my abilities. Again, going back to my strengths. But you have to know what your limitations are as well. Obviously, there are going to be times where you didn't know how to do something. You might get into something that you really do understand how to do and realize that there was an element of it that you aren't aware of and you've gotten yourself down this rabbit hole. That's a different thing. What I'm talking about is you knowingly walk yourself into situations that you know you're not that strong in, and then you realize, probably should have left that dollar on the table, but you had those feelings, that little gut instinct going in, a trigger. You knew that you probably shouldn't do it, or you knew that based on how you're feeling and sort of the vibes you're getting, that this is not the thing for you, but you didn't heed to that call. So your limitations help you recognize what those triggers are. Knowing your limitations also help you manage expectations of yourself and other people. You're not going to get yourself in a situation where your co-workers, clients are going to put you in a situation that is not optimal for you. I recently had a situation where a client thought they could speak to me aggressively, and I had let them know very professionally that I didn't appreciate the tone and I didn't appreciate their communication style, that I wouldn't tolerate that moving forward. And it didn't hurt my business, but that client understood then that the way they operate with other people, that is not how I expect to be communicated with. And so that situation was resolved. So it helps you manage your expectations and the expectations of others. Also, your limitations are your opportunity to grow and get better. You should never stop learning. When you know you have limited information, you don't have to be the one that does the task, but it's really good for you to know the A's, B's, and C's of particular subjects as it relates to your personal life, your career, and your business. A perfect example of this are your finances. You may not be the best at spreadsheets and profit loss statements and accounts receivables and accounts payables, but you do need to know how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. And you need to know, of the money going out, is it the right money going out? And you also need to know how your money is working for you and against you. And that is just as simple as reading books and understanding how money works. You don't have to be a level 10 at it or a level 8 at it or an expert, but you do need to have knowledge. So when you have limitations, it is the perfect opportunity for you to grow and learn and get better. Lastly, what I'll say about your limitations is it is an opportunity for you to connect with your audience. When you have a small business, odds are you started that business because you wanted to solve a problem for the people purchasing your product or service. What relationship do you have to that problem? Because odds are that is a limitation that you've had yourself or a limitation that you solved for someone else. But you knowing that limitation, being aware of it, will help you relate to your audience and therefore help you create the content that will attract them in the first place, because they want to know how you overcame your limitation or what you are doing to overcome the limitation for someone else. Okay, so we've talked about the first two pillars, your strengths and your limitations. Now let's tap into the next one, which is your desires. This is, what do you want? You really need to know what you want. Why? Because it helps you set goals to get there. How many of you heard of the quote, "A goal without a plan is just a wish"? Okay, well, you can have these desires to live your best life, to live a quality of life, to have a successful business, to be the vice president by a certain age, or to raise amazing children. However, there has to be a plan to get there. You do not willy-nilly achieve those goals. So how are you going to set those goals to accomplish your dreams? That is why it's important for you to know your desires and your end game, because you need to have a plan to get there. Next, it encourages you to surround yourself with like-minded people. Put yourself amongst people who have already done what it is you want to do, or who are also in the process of doing what it is you want to do. And then you want to put people who are in the process of doing it, but who also might be 2 or 3 steps ahead of you in doing it, because you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You want to be around people who can sort of hold your hand, pull you up. You want to be around people that you can bend down and lift up, and you want to be in the presence of people who are already doing what it is you're doing and are in the mix with you, because you want to have those conversations, compare notes, and talk things out with like-minded people. So when you know what your desires are, you'll know how to segment your friendships, your collaborations, because you'll know if those people are on the same track you're on, and it makes it easier for you to get where you want to go and to have those conversations with people who are also trying to get there. The next thing is, when you know what your desires are, you're intentional about getting there. How many times have I talked to people and they are like, I'm just so scatterbrained, I can't figure out what to do next. I don't know what direction to go. And I have to question their understanding of their true why, like their true passion and what it is they're trying to do. Because you cannot be fragmented in the mind and achieve your goals. You have to be intentional. And being intentional doesn't mean having all the answers, but it does mean having systems and processes in place that become checks and balances to make sure that the path that you are going to take is in line with the goal you set for yourself, the desire you have for yourself to achieve. So it's important for you to know what your desires are and what your end game is, so that you can create that path or create that plan to get there and be very intentional about staying on that path. Okay, we have rounded the corner to the very last pillar, which are your non-negotiables. Now, let me tell you something about non-negotiables. They speak for themselves, but I feel like I still need to say these words out loud because so many people just waffle, I think, on this. Your non-negotiables are your core. These are the things that you will not settle on, you will not negotiate on, you will not move. This is your concrete, like cemented in place ideals and mindsets, okay? These should be heavily guarded because the world is full of people who want to uproot you and turn you around and get you discombobulated. Your non-negotiables are the one thing that will keep you grounded when adversity hits you, because these are the things that you are not going to compromise on. And when you have those things listed, then you know how do you navigate those landmines as you try and achieve your goal. It's just like when you get a no in sales. If someone gives you a no, you have to understand how to overcome those objections to get where you're trying to go. The same holds true with your non-negotiables. These are landmines that can destroy your life, destroy your business, destroy your career, and you do not want to mess with them. So think about your integrity. Think about your own personal motives. Think about who you are and authenticity, and how you plan to make sure that you do not have to come outside of yourself to be something else for someone else. How can you set those boundaries in your life, career, and business so that those lines are not crossed? These are your non-negotiables. Your non-negotiables help with consistency. They're just certain things that you are not going to do, so people can count on that. You will never see me I was gonna say you'll never see me on a stripper pole, because you never will. But that's my non-negotiable, right? So if I get down and out and I need money, you just won't ever see me on a stripper pole, period. That's a non-negotiable. It goes against who I am. So that is non-negotiable for me. Now, granted, some of you, that might be your business. I'm not saying, not here to judge. I'm talking about me. This is the non-negotiable for me. And it was just an example. But it's a good example for you to really get a clear understanding of what your non-negotiables need to look like. These are things that you will never do, you will never tolerate, you will never support. Know what they are, because they help you with consistency. Also, your non-negotiables help you be more discerning. Really looking at situations carefully, evaluating the pros and cons, making the best decision, looking farther down the road than what is in front of your face, and being very strategic. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this little lesson on your 4 pillars to your personal framework. I go into a ton more details in how to set this up, what true examples look like for you, and how you can walk this out in your life in a program that I am creating. And I'm so excited to share it with you. But we're going to start off the month of October with a ton of webinars. So that is my big announcement. We are going to do an entire series series for Women's Small Business Month. I have not named it yet, but I'm very excited about it. I'm trying to pull in some big guns to provide tons and tons of value. So be on the lookout for that. And if you have a name for it, tell me what you think we should name this for Women's Small Business Month. Leave a comment in the comments below and tell me what would you like to see it named. And you can also share with me what type of content you would like to see. We already have some good ideas of what we're going to share, but I want to know, maybe you have something that you want more information on, and I would be happy to do a webinar on that or include it in a webinar that we already have coming up. So thank you again for watching today's video. I'm so happy that you are here. Again, if you're new and being a more efficient, effective, and aware leader in your life, career, and business is something that you are looking for in your life, then definitely subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And then if you want to see how I'm walking things out in my own life and how I am helping people and see some testimonials and some behind the scenes, definitely follow me over on Instagram at AFPatrick. Starting in September, we will have a full series of Clubhouse rooms available. Also, so you can follow me over on Clubhouse at AFPatrick. I'm so thrilled that you were here with me today. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. But until next time, go out there and live your best life.